Yes, yes, yes. What's up, y'all? What's up? We are live. What's going on? It's your girl Smalley. Hang on, we're telling people we are doing the Solar Plexus. We're ending the week on the Solar Plexus, and honestly, today is freaking Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Like, I just want to say that doing these lives for me are, like, I want them to be natural. Like, when I plan them, that's why I literally just posted the flyer today. When I plan them, they never work out how I want, and then my vibe be different, and it's like, you know, it's kind of still scary because there's so many thoughts that we make up in our head, but this is what we do to practice. We just do it when the vibes are high. Happy full moon, what's going on? So we got Ella from Solar Fusion. I'm gonna put her in right now. Let's and then you know how we figure this shit out. Solar Fusion. That it works. And while we're doing that, I want to shout out to Dance Hall Queen Brat for the freelance. It does not mean free dancer tee. Well, no, this is not a tee. This is a sweatshirt. So happy Female Entrepreneurship Day. Like, I know a lot of amazing female business owners. Yes, 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 yes. And Gloria, I know I'm supposed to see you today. Gosh, I'm calling myself out. So happy, cancel, invited. So just shouting out all the female entrepreneurs. Wow, kick it by Eliza. Shout out to you. Happy Female Entrepreneurship Day. Happy Entrepreneurship Day. I got to shout out to my guide, bro, which is where I'm like an unofficial brand guide for them. They don't have a brochure program right now, but this is a Chakra. Gosh, it's a sports bra that you can put your crystals in. So I usually put my crystals in my underwear and shit, and it's just a foolish thing to do when you're teaching because it all just falls out. And then I'm wearing my Jupi jewelry. We got the jade going on, so shout out to Jupi jewelry. I got the black tourmaline. Got my goddess jewelry going on to protect my energy. And then I got Benai jewelry, who actually I just started being a brand ambassador for them. So Soulfire 25, you get 20% off if you order from them. But everyone, shout out to Wissy. Happy Entrepreneurship Day, Wissy. Happy Female Entrepreneurship Day to every single female that's up here. Wow, this is magical. Go Bites. Happy Female Entrepreneurship Day. So we got Solar Fusion going on. Ella from Solar Fusion, she's going to be sharing her story. So I went and took a class 2 Mondays ago with her and Makeda, and it was just dope. And I got to sit down with her and just talk about what's been going on in life. And I know that she started Solar Fusion after 305 because we met knowing of each other in Boston, but like she came to work with 305 and we got to train her and she was dope, and then she decided to leave and take another route and start her own thing, which was like, shout out to you for doing that shit. Like, as my girl Wissy would say, all in divine timing, because especially right now where, you know, economically things are like really, you know, waving up, where people are starting their own businesses because of what happened last year. It's the time. So shout out to everybody starting their businesses and working for themselves. And even if you're working part-time for somebody else, the end goal is to collect all that bullet for us. Yes, happy Boss Bitch Day. And then Ella, let me know if you're having issues logging in, because this Instagram stuff is for the birds. So while she does wait to come on, so it's Solar Plexus week. If you've never taken a solar, yes! And you know we did a test before. Welcome. We did a test before this.
Hi.
I
also have to say that I'm baking cookies right now, so I'm gonna be up and down, but I'll sit down eventually. Okay, so I'm here.
Okay, Wicker Chair.
Good morning.
I know, right? What's up, girl? Just talking about how it's Female Entrepreneurship Day, and how I sent you a message like, girl, you know, I hit you up to do this before, but planning just energetically doesn't work sometimes for me. I plan in other aspects, but with this, to go live, it takes a little bit more extra energy. So, what's up?
What's poppin'?
Right. Let's get into it. Solar Plexus, y'all. It is all of our willpower and our fears. It's located right above your navel, right in this belly button area. And that's, I don't, where they say that the soul enters when you're born. That's what, it's a lot of things. The crown chakra and the solar plexus areas all connected, that entry, outway. Anyways, that's another story. The element of fire. And I'm such like I'm a movie head, so I look for the hidden messages in movies. So I always tell people, like, if you want to know what really fear and willpower is about, watch The Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. It's a good, because at the end of the movie, fear goes back to the source. And it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Like the guy who wants to bring fear to the world, he's like, no, I want us to accept the energy so that we don't have to be in fear anymore. So we don't have to. We know what it looks like, what it feels like. But, Ryan Reynolds in the movie scenes, they got to make everything seem like, anyways. So it's all about our personal power, our character, our strength. And our affirmation for today is the fire within me burns through all my fears. So me and Ella reconnected, which I want to do a video sharing this, when she hit me up about how to connect sound into your fucking lives while we're simultaneously are teaching. And I've been doing all this research trying to figure this shit out. So I bought me a Zoom H5. If you are a teacher, get you a Zoom H5. Shout out to Alana from Bar Group. Happy Entrepreneurship Day, who put me onto this. It made my life easier because I bought all this equipment and it was like all I needed is one. And then I went and took class and I got to see her and hug her and feel her and catch up. So, we're going to talk about it, but she's been through some shit, y'all. She's been through some shit. And she's absolutely amazing and magical, because when she was telling me her story, all I could think of as far as like, I don't want to talk about me, but like, how does fear and willpower show up in our fucking lives, yo? Like, it can really like tear us down, or we have to use that fire to grow out of it and like Phoenix rise. So first talk about Soka Fusion, and then share whatever you want to share.
I need you to ask me questions, but what you want to know? What about Soul Confusion? Like what we want? Like
what is it?
Is it? Oh shoot. Okay, first of all, I see people. This is different. I don't be going live, so I'm like, okay, Keomani, okay, Wisty, okay, Kata, okay, Gina.
Wow.
People, humans. KO, I'm screaming caps at you. Just know that. Anyways, okay, so Soul Confusion.
She is the whole Phoenix vibe, yes.
We are we're a dance and wellness business. What are words though? Because I'm always like business, company, like we're a fam. We're a fam that shares out joy. We hold spaces and share spaces of joy, liberation, confidence, and power. Really wanting to just spread that through soca, through dance, through movement. And it started. I started teaching Soca Fusion, like as Soca Fusion in 2017. However, I actually technically, like, it was in its, I don't know, like in the stages. As like modern fusion for a youth program, after school program named Ballet Rocks. And it came out of that, because they were like, those kids were just literally like, we've never had soca like in a dance class, in school, like in after school. They've never had their cultures represented in that way. And I was like, what? Like, that's different. And so from that, I really just started it for the youth, Black and brown, Caribbean, African American, etc. youth. And then adults started showing up, people started showing up. And again, it was just started like that for fun, like pure joy, like the joy that I experienced in Trinidad, the free that I felt in Trinidad for the first time in my life. As a Black woman, that free, I was like, nah, we need to have that here. Like, I was like, I need to sustain that for me to continue to live here. What am I going to do? All right, let's cultivate a space. Let's make it happen. It just went from there, and LLC in 2019, and then the team came through, and it's like, it's just a family, and that's all. Like, we should be here, like, having fun. That's what I don't, it's not work, it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yo, piece of that. Also, you say like it's just so great. Like LLC came here, and then like I feel like that the why always kept you going, right? Because these are things that I feel like as dancers, I'm rocking the dancehall queen brat. Sure, it's freelance. Doesn't freelance doesn't equal free dance. And I spoke a little bit about this, sharing on Facebook, about how we don't like do the business stuff. Dancers, we just show up and we want to dance. We take all of the content. We make some of these artists' songs more popular than they were, and we don't actually listen. And we don't give the real residual truth, equity, credit for it. So I shout out to you for doing that shit. Because even when you left 305 out and started your own thing, it was like, dang, like I wish I could do that, dancing for so long. But there's another, I think. There's like a cap that you reach in life when you're like, all right, you feel it in the pit of your stomach, right? When you're like, I got it, like, this is needed, I got to do it. So, all right, Soul Confusion was born. You were doing the damn thing. I know you were at Green Street for a while, and then unfortunately that closed down. Green Street was a whole vibe. They were so open with their stuff. I missed them. But anyways, like, what's been going on the past year or two with you, like,
let's see, how do I just, like, this is the thing, it's interesting, like, when it's not preface, that's the word, like, if there's no, like, Ella's gonna be talking about this today, I'm like, how do I, like, drop this, you know what I mean, like, how do I, but I'm gonna drop it, and it's just gonna come out how it is. It's just something I've actually this week been sitting with, like, is there a way to say this that, like, holds other people? And I think that's also something to note, that I'm thinking about other people. You know what I mean? But anyways.
That's you. That's your whole vibe. That's your whole heart, yo. Anyways.
DJ Prince Royce. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I'm just like, people. Shout out to DJ. Let me tell you, this one, shout out to him for a lot of our mixes. He's an angel. He's popping. Period.com. So anyways, okay, here we are. So, yeah, basically, here we go. That's like, where do I want to start it? Basically, yeah, in March 23rd, I went in for a double lung transplant. That's I guess where I'll start. Yeah, so that in January 31st is when I went into the hospital. Or I went to the ER, I should say, but it wasn't, for me, it wasn't like oh, I'm in pain, or to me, it wasn't an emergency. Mm-hmm. I went for my parents because they were in my ear about, like, my health and their rights. Because I had basically, I'm going to give that context, basically a year from now, my body was really shutting down on me. For like 3 years, up until a year ago, I had been dancing, right? I was dancing all days, traveling, strength training. Shout out to my trainer Kirby. Like, I even started like boxing last year. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was full. Like, when I tell you a year ago, I was at, like, it felt like my prime. It felt like my, like, it just felt like I was here. Like, I was fully confident, free. Like, I was doing everything I wanted to with no one telling me shit.
Yes. Yep.
And it was just like, I was just here. And at the same time, though, and honestly, when I think back from now in hindsight, it's like, over time, it didn't just happen like a year ago, December, that my body shut down. Like, gradually over time, I had been experiencing these symptoms of, like, getting to, like, walking upstairs was hard. Like, I get to the, like, 3 flights of stairs and I was, like, winded. And for being so active, for me, I was like, what's
up? Yeah.
And, like, then, but for me, at my age, being young and it was like, all right, I need to go harder at the gym. I need to get my cardio up. I need to get my endurance and stamina up, all those things. The reality actually was I probably needed to sit my butt down and just take some time. But No, yeah, it was over time. These like random symptoms definitely were popping up. It's also wild. A year ago, like you see how I don't know if you could tell with the lighting, my lips are very pink now. A year ago, they were purple.
Wow.
But it didn't hit me a year ago that like that was circulation problems.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so ended up in the ER because at that point it was like I was literally like bed rest for 2 months. No, we didn't know what it was. Everything, blood work, everything came back great. So it was just like, what's going, what, what? I
Right.
wasn't in pain, nothing. Go to the ER. There was like one thing off with my blood. Hospital, and that's where my journey. Well, it was like one ER to a different hospital to a different hospital. Ended up at MGH. Shout out to MGH though. I will be an ambassador for them.
Shout out to MGH.
I will be a full ambassador for them. Their nursing staff.
Yeah. I'll give it to them. My sister had a baby there, and I know a few clients that work there, and they're all like, yeah, shout out to Marie. Marie works at MGH. Yeah, yeah. MGH is they're up there.
Like, you know, I have plenty of thoughts on, you know, medical system and all this stuff. But but MGH, I will say in terms of their care, and when I say care, I don't just mean the medicine and stuff. I mean, yo, these women, these not just women, oof, majority of the people who took care of me were women, but I had a few guys. But anyways, like they washed my hair, they dyed my hair in the ICU, like they did my nails, like they look, when I say they lotioned me, because I was like, I have to lotion myself every day, like I don't care where I'm at, like don't do me, but they took care of me, you know, and like talked and held my tears and all this stuff when I was crying. But nah, shout out to MGH, and those nurses held it down. But yeah, so
like my like question, and I know we like talked about it, like you shared about it before, but you're so, and it's so real, it's not funny, but when we learn more about our bodies, right? Like Dr. Laila Africa, rest in peace, has a book that talks about specifically our African American bodies and what the signs and symptoms are. Majority of the things that happen to general people is on point. Like the solar plexus affects the lungs. It affects, you know what I'm saying, the purple lip, the mouth, the nose with the heart, like all of these body parts, right? So like all I can think of is like how you're so, because even when you were sharing your story to me privately, you're like, you were worried about everybody else, like you weren't even worried about you. So my thing is like, were you not afraid, and like how did you deal with the fear aspect of going into the ER and then not knowing, you know what I'm saying, like what was going on in your mind, girl? Because that's not easy. Like I already expressed my vibes with you about how, you know, these fucking journeys, these journeys we go through are meant to only raise us up and high, because whatever is about to happen for you, girl, is going to be, you know what I'm saying? This is like preparation. So questions, how did you deal with the fear aspect of like afraid? Like, were you afraid? When did it kick in that like something else could happen, or what, you know, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what I feel like that's it for I think that was everybody in my life when they found out. It was like, what?
Because you weren't telling nobody, and you keep your shit private. Shout out to you for keeping your shit private, but you weren't telling anybody. Like you have a support system out here for you, but like, what's up?
But see, that's the thing for me. So here we are when Ella thinks about everybody else and thinks about, how do I explain this? Is even when one could say it's about me, it's not about me. If that, like, I don't know. And the like, one, I was never in pain, and to be honest, I associate then. Now I have no idea, but then I associated pain with death with pain. Like, so because I wasn't in pain, I was just like, what the, like, they're like, you're in critical condition. I'm in the ICU. Like that's I went directly to the ICU. I didn't go to a well, no, I honestly, the first hospital I was in, I was on a regular floor for like 2 days maybe, but like after that it was ICU until basically third, right? So like but yeah, I was never in this like I was never in pain, for me at least, right? And like the way And so for me, it was like I was chilling. Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. Like, even with all the tubes, all like I had like supplemental oxygen, I think the whole time. Like, whatever. Um, so for that, I honestly was never scared. Also, I don't know if it has to, you know, like I do him, but it must have to do with me being an only child, also being adopted, and like having done like from a very young age, having to like learn how to self-cope and like learn how to like, right, I'm adopted into a white family, also of two moms, and like growing up, like everything was different. I was different. My entire upbringing was considered different to the heteronormative, etc. Right? So I like aside from dance, everything was closed in. So home, my safe thing was my room. So being in an ICU by myself actually was like home. In a very interesting way to put it. And also, sidebar, it's like one of the first people, yes, have shown me care in my life. I will not deny that. People have held me down. Yet this was kind of this interesting time where I was literally like being taken care for, whatever, in full, in a way that I had honestly, like, as a child, did not experience. And like, because both my parents, they split up at a young age. Like, so there's all these, like, my parents came together in that moment in the hospital to be there for me. But I didn't experience that as a child, right? So out of like, what the heck is going on? But so again, I honestly was never scared. Like people would tell me like, Ellie, listen to these meditative tapes about the surgery to prep for it. And I'm like, I'm not listening I'm not listening to any of this. I'm not scared of surgery. For whatever reason, I was not scared. And it was something in being like, yo, I'm here. I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be. I've had recent years in my 20s, I'm like, I started noticing, and this plays a role in what I'm about to get to. It's like, we're going to get from A to Z, right? Like, am I going to get there in this like, frantic state? Because I've seen people like that. And I'm like, that does not look fun. Like, being stressed is not fun. So I was like, either I could do that or I could just choose to go, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll get there. And so with that, it's like, you know, every day I woke up, I was like, all right, we here again. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm here. So we're going to write something, we're going to watch something, we're going to eat something, we're going to talk, and just keep going. And like, it was just like, I'm here. Like, and again, yeah. So.
Yo, to me, like, again, when I was like, oh, when I was listening to you, I'm like, yo, this is some, like, my thoughts weren't like to ask you to do this for the Willpower Week, but it was literally, I was coming into the sacral, going from confidence into the solar plexus, and I literally live this shit now. So I live this chakra life because this is the examples that I have to share to people to let them know, like, yo, if you tap into yourself and that every single thing that we go through, life experiences, our bodies experiencing dis-ease, our mental states, our point of view, our portals of listening, of seeing, of whatever, it all is connected to what happens to all fucking things. And I'm like, yo, this is perfect willpower that you're expressing. Like, I'm feeling it all in my fucking head right now because my fucking third eye is just like seeing you for this bigger purpose of, yes, that happened to you. Yes, you went through these things, but there was nobody else. There are people that go through these, that could have gone through the same thing and would not have had the same fearlessness or willpower. You know what I'm saying? To keep it on the track of like, yo, you just express that to the full capacity of what it looks like. And even if we do associate pain with like disease or associate pain with fear, I can't even say that you would have experienced the same or difference because you already have that fucking energy within you to have gone through that. And then the bigger picture, right, is the two families coming together. Then the bigger picture is you needed to get taken care of like that for the two families to come together. You needed for all these, and then it just starts to pack on and build up, right? So I keep saying this to you, like, you're dope and you're a magical ass fucking woman. And, you know, again, whatever's about to pop off, I don't know what it is, but I feel it. I have no idea what is happening right now. Maybe spirit is coming through, but whatever's about to pop off else, just know that you are supported. And that right there just definitely let you know that you were supported, even in tangibleness and in the spirit realm. Because you were like, I'm not even afraid of death anymore. And I was like, oh my God, this is deep. This is deep. This is deep.
And like I want to add to this because I think I'd be saying shit and I forget like where I'm going. But
spirit, like talk, like
the part like I don't know where this is coming from or whatever, but I want to note like because it's that piece that everyone like randomly is like, yo, E, like, because for example, like I prayed every day with shout out to KO, like I have prayer Zooms, meditations all the time, like pretty and I will say, like, I think that really speaks to, like, one thing that I learned is I really have to rest every day. Like, rest looks different, right? It's not just, oh, you sleep. No, like, rest is sometimes literally me just being in my bed for an extra hour, just breathing. Like, whatever. Around my room, butt naked, like, whatever. But cleaning, something, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. But I do want to say that the whole thing of the individual with the collective, there is something around like, because people do know, like, Ella, you were the one going through this and yet you're praying for everybody else. You're thinking about like I was there, like I was like, yo, if I pass away, straight up, like that's what it is, like I can't, right? And like, but I was literally thinking about like the times that I cried about it was because I started thinking about my people, and I was like, yo, like I'm assuming how people are going to be like if I pass, and thinking of like just all these layers, right? And all these things about my people, and there's something to me where it's like, yo, like what is that greater vision? What are we all working towards? What are we all living for? You know, and like we're all climbing, like I don't know, like whatever that mountaintop thing is we're doing, like we're all kind of going about it maybe in different ways, but I feel like there's so many times that we get lost and distracted and like and kind of maybe emotion or distraction. And I'm like, I'm here to feel like first of all, the past 2 months I cried every day. Like like no, like I'm letting myself cry, I'm letting myself feel, and I'm still going. Like I got joyous spaces to create because like I'm gonna be damned if I like continue patterns from like that I witnessed growing up or that I experienced firsthand. No, like I'm here to change shit up.
Yes.
Do my best. I don't know necessarily what it's gonna look like all the time, right? Because we're really up, do things different, then we have to do it different, even when it's scary, even when it's uncomfortable, even you literally have no idea what it looks like, bro. Like I'm sitting here like I don't know what this is because I didn't witness this growing up.
Right. And also you got to be the one to build it up, to start it, to set the foundation, especially in this new age of what we're going into. Like we don't know what it looks like because we're the ones to fucking set it. Like we have to start it. Like you know, I think shout out to Wisty for this because I want to go back to the fear of death, and I think that the pandemic put that a lot into people's you know, minds. Like energy never dies. Number one, if you believe this or not, if you ever had a dream or you ever felt an ancestor or a grandma or you ever had deja vu or you ever felt anything, that's what that is. Energy doesn't lie. And the best preparation is, you know, unfortunately, because I feel the same thing. Like, you know, I talked to Wisty about this when I was like, you know, I was having these mourning feelings and like I'm in mourning. And even when we say grand rising, it's like the rising of the sun, the new day, the new energy that approaches every morning. We don't really say good morning first because that's like we're not in mourning, we're not dying, like we're not in death, like we're you know what I'm saying? So you know, it's all about what you are doing. You are setting a legacy, even with Soul Fusion, even with the person, the human being that you are and the connections that you're making, that if something does happen, these people will have joyous fucking thoughts. And I don't need to knock on wood because your journey is already set. You already got the fire. Now torch is lit. It's just going. But it's like when we understand the meaning of like death and fear and all of those things, that we don't have to be afraid, hence the willpower to go forth and live our lives to the fullest. Whatever it fucking looks like to you, ain't no right or wrong way. That's all I have to say. I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you have something to do, but go ahead. Yes.
Listen, you know we.
I know. That's why I'm trying to cut it, because I'm like, shit, there was so much. I was like, Wisty was saying, as long as we prepare ourselves, we can prepare, well, we can understand the other, we won't have to be afraid. And then I'm like, oh, timing.
Not good, but I do want to add, here we are. Like, it happens. You said, like, right, this pandemic for a lot of people brought up fear and death and all these things, right? And this is where I'm like, yo, it's thinking through. To me, it is what, question mark, or it could just be interesting to note that, like, or you know, it's, to me, it's unfortunate that like death is something like we can't talk about, right?
Word.
That like, and or if like you're not gonna talk about it, fine, but it's like, yo, that's like to live, to be born means that like there's death. There's just this part where I'm like, yes, I'm not like, yes, the pandemic. No, of course not. Like, what the heck? At the same time, I'm like, whether it's the pandemic or not, because we know there's multiple pandemics in this human experience. It's just like death is part of it, and so why not live? Why not choose to live? And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, do that YOLO. I mean, take it how you want, do what you want, right? But it's like, I'm not saying like, oh, go jump off a cliff every day. No, like, no.
Word.
It's just like, for me, I see the living as I'm going to be present in every moment. And I'm going to, like, for example, I was stretching this morning and I literally just looked out the window and I was like, holy crap. Like, the sky was super blue with the, like, contrast of the yellow leaves. Like, oh my God. And, like, how beautiful that was. And then there's days where, like, I'm busy, right? I got these back-to-back meetings. And I'm still going to be present in them. I'm going to be real with the people in front of me. I'm like, how are you? Like, actually, like, you good? Like, you know, like, the days that I'm not doing anything, except I'm doing my bed, I guess. Like, and I'm in my bed, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of my bed. Like, I am going to live, right? I'm going to be present in each moment and, like, also take advantage of whatever. Like, if someone's like, let's go out, if I can do it, bet. But I have to be a little mindful, I guess, now with like my immune system and stuff. It's just like not taking things for granted and really being like, yo, like for me, I had to realize these past 2 months I was like sitting with all of these things and what I went through, and it was all just like coming at me at once. And it was really like, yo, what brings me joy now? Because I'm not doing things. I mean, no, I'm not doing the same stuff I was doing a year ago. I'm not doing it as consistent, right? Like this routine. And so I was like, and I was getting really hard on myself and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, at the end of the day, what brings me joy is being with my people. When I can chop it up with my people and when I can laugh, when we can we hold each other in full.
Word.
Smile, laugh, because I just want to catch things, whatever. Like, I'm just like, so when I just do my best to find the time, not to give the time, to find the time with others and not just rush through it, right? Like I saw, shout out to KO, and I made a date with Pep, right? I think it was Monday if time is right. And like, I didn't even know KO was there or whatever. And like, I'm just so excited. And like, we were just there, you know what I mean? And then like being in the flow, like you talk about, and it flowing, my hits me up. I was like, I can't just like, I could rush and be like, oh, I have a Zoom webinar, so I need to do that. No, like I can learn Zoom any other day, but you not see tomorrow.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just rambling just to get to this point of like, yo, death is there, yes. And guess what? You could I'm very straight up and blunt. Granted, I know this firsthand. It's like, yo, we could not wake up tomorrow. For whatever reason, you could walk outside right now, boop, boop. Like, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on my own stuff with my own mom, and I live with her. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that I'm working out, and yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm calling myself out, you know, and like we keep going, we keep holding each other in full, and just like keep riding. But I will say, breathe. Don't like cherish what's inside. You know what I'm saying? Hydrate.
Yes. Breathe and hydrate, y'all. Cheers to that. Cheers. Yo, and honestly, I love this. I actually love when people do this, but let's literally all take this, you know, beautiful collective breath together. Taking that deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And that's what doesn't die. So even if we walk out the door today and boop, boop, energy never dies. So we're going to end on that, yo. That's like, oh my God, this is a great screenshot.
and dance, like more.
And dance. Go back to confusion. Come take Soulfire movement. Yo, like, winter time's about to be lit. Y'all better shut it down. Shut it down. Sign up for Zoom. Go take class. 4-Star Studios, 8:30 every Monday with Makeda. Come take Soulfire movement on Wednesday, 7 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. And peace, love, and all the light, y'all. I mean, do you have time for questions? Do people want to ask questions? Do y'all want to say, comment on anything? You want to chime in? Like, you know, we're new to this going live for IG, but we definitely want to make it real and engaging, and also just be shit. go.
I need questions. I'm cool. We have a show later. I'm making my debut, bro. I'm performing tonight.
Where?
At Emmanuel College. So it's a school only thing, but I'm like, but either way, I said, who was it? Carvin was like, Ella, you back? I was like, shut up. Yo,
shout out to Gina. Ella, you are amazing. So inspiring. Absolutely. Yes, she is. And humble as fuck. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alrighty. Yo, I love you, girl.
Y'all got questions? You know, don't be afraid. That's my thing, too. Like, I think it's, for me, I'll speak for myself. I'm an open book. I love you, too. Boo! Shout out to Whining School, gang. They are amazing. Luna is amazing. Yo, ooh, talk about a waist. Talk about a butt. Talk about legs. Trini girl. Anyways, what was I about to say? Yeah, no, like if people have questions, even if when we come off,
hit up the DM. Yeah. Hit up the DM.
I'm an open book. I've always been, and even more now, like advocate for sharing, because we're all here. We're all figuring this thing out. You know, I tell my mentees, they're like, Miss Ella, tell me what to do. I'm like, first of all, I'm never gonna tell nobody what to do because I don't want that conscious. But two, like, I'm figuring out. Like, she'll be asking, how do I do this? Or like, what do I do with these situations? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I barely got figured out. So you just try. I'll try. See what happens.
Knowledge self is first, and then everything else will flow. All right, E, that's it, girl. I love you. Peace. Bye, y'all. I feel like it was all your people that tuned in, and shout out to all your peoples, because they needed to hear this. I'm going to share this on, look at me trying to figure this out. I'm about to download this. Hopefully it saves. Can we take a screenshot just in case it doesn't? Oh, how do I?
Are you doing it?
I think so. All right. Peace, E. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you in class. Have a great performance.
Thank you. Have a great wine.
Bye.